On this episode of China Uncensored, Chinese husband sues his wife for being ugly. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. They say love is blind. They also say the same thing about justice, but in China, it seems more like they've had their eyes gouged out. A Chinese husband has sued his wife for being ugly. Despite all the great values the Chinese Feminist Association has tried to instill in Chinese society, like women should spend less time going to school and more time on their looks so they can find a husband, some men in China, for some reason, think looks are all that matter. It's kind of like Beauty and the Beast, but in reverse. Jian Feng thought he had married the love of his life. She was beautiful and, well, she was beautiful. But then she gave birth to a terribly, terribly ugly baby girl. Feng said, and I quote what the man said about his own daughter, incredibly ugly, to the point where it horrified me. He accused his wife of cheating on him, though why would any woman want to miss out on a catch like him? But a DNA test proved the baby was indeed his. That's when she admitted to a little secret that just slipped her mind before they got married. She spent $100,000 on intensive plastic surgery with some pretty brilliant South Korean surgeons before they met. Naturally, he immediately divorced her and sued her for tricking him into marrying her under false pretenses, namely that she wasn't ugly, and won. The judge, whom I assume was a man, ruled in his favor and ordered her to give him $120,000. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Obviously, justice has been served. Here's another case where China's particular brand of justice against women played out. Li Yan married her husband in 2009 and it was a short honeymoon. Here's a quick list of the things he did to her before their marriage ended. He locked her outside on a balcony in the winter, slammed her head against a wall, put out his cigarettes on her face and legs, cut off part of her finger, and she even had to be hospitalized once after a particularly brutal beating. Of course, she went to police and her local women's federation, but in China, domestic abuse is considered just a private matter. It's funny, what religion you practice is a state affair, but if a man beats up his wife, it's a private matter. But if that woman fights back, then all hell breaks loose! Given a free license to beat her, Li Yan's husband continued to beat her. Then in 2010, during a particularly bad argument, she smashed him over the head with his air gun and killed him. And then the police started to care. After a brief trial, the judge, who I assume was a man, sentenced her to execution. Women who have injured or killed abusive husbands are a huge portion of the population of China's women's jails. They often receive the maximum possible penalty for spousal abuse or murder, and considering Li Yan's husband got away with not only beating her, but also his first two wives, it kinda sounds like there's a double standard. The last update about Li Yan came on February 22nd. She's still alive but on death row. There's been no updates since. So what do you think? What would you do if you found out your loved one had plastic surgery and didn't tell you? Or what do you think about spousal abuse or whatever? Comment below and be sure to subscribe, or you can follow me on Twitter or like China Uncensored on Facebook. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.